All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays. Like working your faces. Grace up the field, so type the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
You go, Cam.
Oh, it's me? Oh,
My bad, y'all. My bad. I didn't know I was the man today. What's up, y'all? Welcome to ASAP Real Talk. It's your boy Cam Chancellor, and tomorrow kicks off a big day. It's the NBA start of the season, so we will. It's a basketball day. It's a basketball day. We gonna predict rookie of the year. We're gonna predict awards. We're gonna predict seeds 1 through 8 for each conference, sleeper team, finals, and thoughts on the opening game. But before we get started, let me introduce you to my guys. Top left, what's up, Freddie?
Yo, what's up with the gentlemen? Glad to be back. It seemed like a long time.
hey, it's been a minute. If you feel like a minute, it do. Top right, Chris Brown, what's up?
Man, what's up? How y'all feeling, man? I'm excited to talk about basketball. You see the banner behind me. I'm upset my team doesn't have more national games. I'm going to rant about that today, but I'm glad we could be here talking about basketball.
All right, the bottom right, we got about Brian. What's going on, baby?
What it is, what it ain't, what it's gonna be, folks.
All right, hey, that's his
legendary
saying right there.
That's legendary.
That's legendary for real. And Madison, I know you don't like my hat, but right now, 10-0, baby. I gotta take all of it. No matter if we win the game or not, we win it right now. So I gotta talk a little smack. But before we get going, we gotta pay the bills. Pull it up, Freddie. I know what we got. We got Suzanne Paparazzi Jewelry and Accessories, home of the 24/7 shopping, home of the 24/7 shopping, home of the $5 jewelry. Make sure you contact Suzanne Paparazzi for your jewelry and for your gifts. www.paparazziaccessories.com, code 160920. Hey, it's winding down. You need a quick gift? Make sure you holler at Suzanne Paparazzi. Now, you can win a free shirt. Chris, tell them how that could be done.
Yes, to win a free shirt, what I want you to do is like the video, share the video, comment on the video, like the page, share the page. At the end of the month, we're going to tally everything up. We're going to crown that person a viewer of the month, and that viewer of the month is going to get their very own ASAP Network t-shirt. Now, for the ones that, are shy to comment, I still thank you for the support. Still like the page, share the page. You can buy shirts for $14.99 plus shipping and handling. Message us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. We're going to get that right to you.
All right, like Will, our guy, go pick the Raptors to roll with.
Oh, well, you going to hear me talk bad about them today. Let's just foreshadow it now.
Ooh-wee. All right. Hey, let's get into it. We got a lot to cover, and obviously, it's always good to try to predict, some awards, who will have some good years and things like that. Now, I'm gonna start off with Chris. I'm gonna start off with Chris today.
Okay.
Rookie of the year.
Yes.
we got a lot of, obviously the top 3 guys, but then you got some sleepers that have been playing well in the preseason. So from what you see thus far, who do you have? Rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year, right? So when I look at this year, right, because of COVID, there was no summer league. Preseason was short, training camp was short. So a lot of these rookies that would be better with summer league and a longer training camp are going to start off slow. So the winner, I think, is going to be the guy that's going to start off fast and more NBA ready. And for me, that's LaMelo Ball. I truly feel like what I saw in LaMelo Ball was the fact that scoring is not going to determine his success in the NBA. He's already the best playmaker on that team. He's one of the best rebounders on that team. And for the coach and that coaching staff to say they want to be fast-paced, he's the best player to do that. Now, everybody questions his offensive ability. I seen him knock down jumpers. I seen him get to the lane. He just has to be more aggressive and more consistent. With Gordon Hayward being hurt in the beginning of the year, because of that injury, his minutes going to be back and forth. LaMelo has more time and more time to shine. More minutes to do what he has to do. I feel like even if Gordon Hayward is fully healthy, LaMelo is going to be able to do him. As the season goes on, this coaching staff is going to realize that LaMelo Ball is the best playmaker on this team. The best ball handler on this team is the best player to run that system. With a guy that makes everybody better around him, I feel like he's going to have the best time to shine. And with guys in front of him that are not better than him at the things he does, he's going to have more minutes. So I really feel like LaMelo Ball is going to be that rookie of the year, averaging like 16, 7, and 6.
I like that. Let's go to Freddie. Freddie, who you guys the rookie of the year?
Hey, I'm going with the big baller boy too. I mean, didn't I hear LeVar? He said, he's speaking into existence that this dude is going.
What's going on, Freddie? Am I tripping?
Can't hear you.
Can't hear
No,
you.
we lost him.
What? Brian, he said go to Brian.
Brian, go ahead. We're having a little technical difficulties, folks. Sorry. Brian, rookie of the year, who you got?
My rookie of the year hadn't even got on the floor and actually played a game yet. That's going to be James Wiseman.
I love it.
I'm looking at him because of the team that he's going to. He's gonna have an immediate impact, but they're not gonna need him per se. They don't have to lean on him. They just need him to come out there and just play. Do what he does best, which is be big, rebound, and probably get some offensive putbacks, things like that, just because he's athletic. And he's going to help Draymond out a whole lot because Draymond looked like got old. He looked like Charles Barkley out there now. So he's going to need some help. So Wiseman coming in on that defensive end is going to pick it up, and I think he's going to get all the shine and he's going to get a bunch of run too.
All right, James Wiseman. Freddie, you back?
You're not back, Freddie. Coach Cam, you go next, Coach Cam.
Now, I look at, rookie of the year. It's LaMelo Ball for me, who I predict, just because he's going to have so much impact on the game, without, scoring the ball. There's so many different ways he can make an impact. You talk about rebounding the ball. I know his first game he didn't shoot well, but he had 10 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
So, his assist number is going to be there. He's going to get everybody involved. In the passes I see him make is unreal. He's already one of the best passers in this league.
Mm-hmm.
And when that's the case, and you get players open better looks, it just makes the team better. And you're going to see Charlotte get better. I'm not saying they're going to be exactly a playoff team, but I do think that they can make some strides and move forward to put them on the map to make LaMelo, stand out. So, you know what? Hey, I got LaMelo Ball, what he's doing and impacting the game. And I think he's going to get better defensively too. And I think he's going to be a nuisance defensively, which I think is going to be the big part. All right, before I go to Freddie, Bengals are up 16-0. Let's go.
And to address Madison real quick, I see Will in the comments saying to be a Magic fan, the Magic are good. They're a team that I like, but they're just the middle of the pack. Honestly, if you don't got no team, just hop on the bandwagon and be a Heat fan. You in Florida, just be a Heat fan. And just to address what Coach Cam said, I love the fact that you said the defensive end, because I feel like once he adds that to a game, it's going to take him to another level. His brother, I don't think is they're the same passing. When I compare him and his brother, they have the same passing ability, same rebounding ability. I think LaMelo's better scorer, but what sets them apart is that Lonzo defense right now is top level. So I feel like LaMelo
ain't never played defense.
Yeah, LaMelo. Yes, he never had to really play no defense. So I feel like hopefully he gets to learn that as the season goes on. Because once he adds that, that's great. And that James Wiseman pick, I'm gonna save my take on James Wiseman to the end because y'all gonna love it.
All right, Freddie.
Can you hear me now?
Hey, yeah. It's bullshit, but we'll take it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going with Ball as well. Didn't y'all hear LeVar Ball say he's speaking to existence that his son is gonna be excited. His son is gonna go. I mean, just think about it. Ball is going to have the ball in his hand. He's going to be able to impact the game much more because he's going to be the dominant ball handler. This dude, he can score the ball at will. Them passes right there. I mean, that's special right there. It's like no. I'm not saying it's showtime, but he's putting on a show in Charlotte. Like it's going to be that special. They're not going to be a playoff team this year, but they're going to be an exciting team to watch. You're going to see. You want to turn your TV on to see what kind of crazy pass ball is going to do, how many threes he's going to knock down. This dude is. Hey, he's must see TV, and we already know that, so that's what I'm rolling with.
All right, we got 3 for LaMelo Ball. Brian went with James Wiseman, which is a good pick. He could definitely make an impact down there in Golden State. Right away.
When we have to realize Ball, I think Ball, like Chris, Chris said this, Ball is going to be more ready for the NBA because he did play overseas against some grown men over there, so he's going to be able to take the physicality part of it better than most rookies so far just because of the overseas experience.
Yeah, but I some of these rookies like Wiseman, I think his game being a Golden State, I'm going to save what I got to say to the end, but it's going to translate so easily with Golden State that his numbers, he's not. I'll save it because I'll save it for the end. I'll save it.
All right. Now moving on. Now you got to give to love to the X's and O's guys. Coaching does play a big factor, especially in the NBA. So I'm gonna start with Brian, Coach of the Year. Who you got?
Coach of the Year, I got Doc Rivers. And
I love you, my guy. He
got his exodus from the Clippers. I think he got something to prove. He's gonna have to go over to Philly and actually get them deep into the playoffs. I mean, I think he can get a lot out of Ben Simmons. He's the one that can do it. He should be able to do it, and I think that's going to get him Coach of the Year.
I mean, as a Sixers fan, Freddie, I'll let you go next, but I'll say as a Sixers fan, actually Coach Cam could take it over, but I would just want to say as a Sixers fan, I'm just so happy that you acknowledge my coach. I'm just so happy. It brings tears of joy, man. Coach Cam, who you want to go next?
Freddie, you go ahead. I'm going to wait till last.
Yeah, we're going to give Coach of the Year goes to a person who have the biggest impact on the team. So we already know, you're talking about the Lakers, it can't be Frank Vogel because he have 2 of the best players of the game. You look at a team like Brooklyn, it can't be Steve Nash because he have the top 2 players of the game, Kyrie and Kevin Durant. It makes it easier for him. I'm going with Mike Malone. If you guys seen what this man did with that Denver Nuggets team last year, I mean, he gave that team confidence. He built that confidence up. He did the X and O, the game, in-game adjustments. This dude did what he had to do to make adjustments. He made adjustments to beat a Clippers team that everybody was expected to win last year.
No. Who was the one when we were doing this?
Chris.
Okay,
Chris.
Okay, then.
But everybody else expected the Clippers to win that series, okay? But what Mike Malone did, he's put the NBA on notice. He put the world on notice. Even though you still had, Joker and Jamal Murray and Michael Michael Porter and all them boys. I'm going with Mike Malone.
Mike Malone, that's a good choice because Mike Malone is a very good coach, man.
A great coach.
And I respect him too. And it's just another reason. You got to just slap Sacramento Kings upside the head, give Mike Malone no chance. You go to Denver,
you.
And all of a sudden, boom, they
Thank
win.
you.
So Sacramento, one of those teams that what can go wrong will go wrong. Chris, Coach of the Year.
You just brought up an old wound because I'm just going to bring it up. This team had DeMarcus Cousins. They were a very good team. DeMarcus Cousins, gets sick, can't play a couple games. When your best player on a crappy team isn't playing, of course you're going to lose. They end up firing the guy and messing up their whole franchise. Like the Kings, what can go wrong will go wrong. It was always going to go wrong. Now for me, I'm not going to say Doc Rivers. I've been saying, if everybody is known, I've been saying for months who the Coach of the Year will be. I've been saying since he was been hired. Steve Nash. Freddie says, "Oh, a guy with 2 top players can't be coach of the year. Why? First of all, if it's his rookie year coaching. Secondly, this team was not in the playoffs. They were in the 7th seed before he got there. And I mean, I've seen coaches with great players end up in the 6th seed, 7th seed. I'm not going to tell you all my expectations for the Brooklyn Nets. Just know they're high. I think Steve Nash, what he's going to be able to do, this is going to be the best offensive team in the league. You got 2 guys that can get buckets on whoever, whenever. You have a great roster, a great team with a great coaching staff. I feel like what Steve Nash is going to be able to bring out from these basketball players is excellence and great basketball like we saw with the Golden State Warriors when Kevin Durant was over there. I think this team is going to be dominant. I think this team is going to have a hell of a year, and it's going to be led by Steve Nash. I've been saying it since he's been hired. Steve Nash will win Coach of the Year. I've been saying it since he's going to have the best offense in the league. It's nothing I've been changing up. I've been saying this whenever he was hired that day. I said it.
You know what? I like Steve Nash. I was gonna go with Steve Nash, just because it's the first year coach. A lot of people saying he couldn't do it. So I think that definitely would be, a formidable pick. It's a team here out in the Western Conference, and then it's been kind of just, we kind of forgot about him a little bit. But, and people don't even like him as a coach, but I do. I'm one of the rare ones. I'm going on the limb. Stan Van Gundy for the Pelicans. And this is why.
That's nasty.
Because, right now it's preseason. But, the way they looking, he got Lonzo really pushing that rock. Zion is playing free. He finally got an off season. He's healthy. Brandon Ingram, took that big step forward last year. And they got a lot of pieces, man, around them that can make them successful. They got a couple bigs as well. And Stan Van Gundy can coach. I don't know where he got this bad stigma all of a sudden. Maybe because of the bad moves he made in Detroit.
Moves he made, and they say he's stuck in his ways. He's one of the smartest coaches, but they say he doesn't know how to adapt to players. So that's kind of the negative.
Well, this is gonna be interesting because he doesn't have like a team like Orlando in the past. He got different type of guys.
Young guys.
This is interesting.
Well,
I think
he got a history of players coming out and speaking negatively after him. He had with the issue that he had with Dwight Howard, and then you had Shaq when he was in Miami. They both
Shaq got an issue with everybody. Shaq got beef with Penny, Kobe, Arab. Shaq didn't get along with anybody.
There's some players that talk good about him, though. There's some players that talk good about him that say he's one of the smartest coaches out there when it comes to the X and O's type of stuff.
And I love Stan Van because he's gonna tell you exactly what he thinks.
Yes.
But the reason why he has that negative image is because Shaq and Dwight Howard, 2 of the biggest names players under him, have both either said something about him or headbutt him with him. So
I think with this young group though, they don't know any better. And I think they'll listen to him and play hard for him. And they got JJ, and I
JJ played with him.
I think let's not forget. I don't think the Orlando team was that great to go to the finals. It was the Dwight Howard and a bunch of spot up shooters and role players. They wasn't that great, and to lead them to the I think he got some pedigree. And I'm just going on the dark horse here. I'm gonna go with Stan Van Gundy. Go ahead.
You have to realize that team is a bunch of dogs, man. Lonzo, Ingram, even talking about it, like you said, JJ Redick, Zion Williamson, and Steven Adams. Josh Hart. He'll get down and dirty too. Steven Adams. These guys would want to get pushed, and so they wouldn't have a problem with that at all.
What's the face for, Chris?
Y'all see later.
Okay. All right, Coach of the Year. So we got Mike Malone, we got Doc Rivers. Chris, who you said again? I'm sorry.
Steve Nash.
Steve Nash. I got Stan Van Gundy. So it'll be interesting to see how those teams start off of the year. All right. Defensive Player of the Year. Freddie, who you got?
It should have been him last year. Anthony Davis. It should have been him last year. For some reason, the league just hate giving awards to some Laker players. I don't know why. LeBron. I mean, I'm not gonna get into that. We already know what I'm about to say. Yeah, but you're talking about a player that can the block shots, give you 1 or 2 blocks a game, give you 10 rebounds a night. You're talking about a guy that can guard perimeter players on the perimeter as well, not just on the inside, but somebody who can stick a James Harden and stay up with him. But yeah, I mean, this dude, he don't just do that. He anchors the defense for the Lakers. Like there's been many times where we depend on somebody calling the defensive plays. We call on somebody to, be that leader on defense. He challenged LeBron James on the defensive end last year. So I'm going Anthony Davis. I think this year he'll get the defensive player this year.
Defensive player of the year, Anthony Davis. Brian, we got
Defensive player of the year. I'm gonna give it to a guy who just signed a 5-year, $200 million extension out there in Utah, Rudy Gobert.
Trash. He's not trash. That contract is trash.
Contract is trash. I agree with you, but he's gonna have to live up to that contract. You give him that money as if he's a max player. They say he didn't ask for max, but that's a max contract. I don't care what nobody say. So now you gonna have to show up and damn near carry that team to not only to the playoffs but to the finals when they give you a contract like that. And the only thing he's really good for is defense, block shots, rebounds. He's not really a scorer, so he's gonna have to go stratosphere height to live up to that contract now. Defensive player of the year.
All right, now Chris wanted to go last, so I'm gonna go. Now people say the contract is trash. Y'all gotta chill on that. Y'all gotta chill on that.
All contracts is trash with this new TV, all this money.
There you go. Most of the contracts are garbage.
Tobias Harris. No, he don't. His contract's trash. We're not gonna get into that.
Okay,
but his contract's
I'll
trash.
get that. But when you're talking about a defensive player of the year and you're Utah, you're not getting anybody better than Rudy Gobert to come in there no time soon. So when you're a place like Utah, you got to lock up your players. You got to lock up your all-stars. So I'm not mad at them for giving them the money. But defensive player of the year for me. This is going to be interesting because you know what? I think I'm going on a limb here. Today is the limb day for me.
Me too.
It's going on a limb.
Me too.
It's about time you get some respect.
Yeah.
Jrue Holiday.
Thank you.
I think Jrue Holiday needs to be the defensive player of the year. Harden said that's the toughest guy he has to face. Everybody in the league, man to man, has said Jrue Holiday is the best defender. Yeah, he doesn't get any votes. He doesn't get all defensive teams. I think it's terrible, and I think this is the year where he's on a big enough team and a big enough stage where you're going to see what he does on a 90 and 90 out basis defensively. I think you're going to see that, and I think it's going to be pushed to the forefront. So I got Jrue Holiday. Chris, who you got?
I just want to say how much I love that pick because Jrue Holiday, when I did my list, he was second on my list. Jrue Holiday's been my guy since he was in Philadelphia. I mean, years and years and years, players are saying, he's one of the hardest defenders in the game. I'm upset. I'm upset all the time when he doesn't get the credit he deserves. Jrue Holiday, he's second. When you look at the percentage time and guarding all-stars, he's second when you look at the percentage time guarding all NBA players. But who's first and who I have winning Defensive Player of the Year? Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons spends the most time guarding all NBA players. Love Jrue Holiday, he's second. There's no fault against him. But, Ben Simmons guards the most time guarding all NBA players. Ben Simmons has the most time guarding all-stars. Ben Simmons led the league in steals, total and steals per game. Ben Simmons is the most versatile defender in the game. He can really guard 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5. Not just switching and hold his own, but I'm talking about locking him down. I see him guard 4 positions in one play. Ben Simmons, his defensive game has always been there. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves because everybody wants to flack on his offensive end. But when it comes to Defensive Player of the Year, this is the most versatile defender in the game. 6'10", 245 pounds, then guard every single position. As dominant as he is, it's about time he gets some respect. And the Freddies, when he said Anthony Davis, I'm not mad at none of y'all picks except for Rudy Gobert. But I'm just kidding. But I'm not mad at nobody's pick because when I look at Anthony Davis, and here's why I like all of them. You lost Dwight, you lost JaVale. Marc Gasol is a good defender, but he's not a shot blocker. I believe Anthony Davis might average 3 blocks this year. So I think this is the year that all 4 of our guys are really going to take that next step. Drew Holiday being on the team that's getting a lot of national coverage is really going to be able to take that next step. Rudy Gobert, that contract's going to be able to take that next step. Anthony Davis, with having more defensive, things he has to do, is going to take that next step. But my guy Ben Simmons is going to win this award. Trust me. I'm not saying this as a Sixers fan. This is what the stats are saying now. This is what the stats are saying.
I'm not gonna lie. When Rudy Gobert's contract, I seen that. I just paused for a second, and I said, "Man, I wish I was a little bit taller. I could be able to block shots." And
no, you won't. Stop it.
Get that kind of money, bro. That's crazy.
No, you don't got no game. Me and Coach Cam, drop you off.
Hey, whenever you want to meet up, when this pandemic is over, you want to meet up somewhere to a court and gym somewhere. Hey, I'll give you the ones.
Listen, we're gonna drop you off. But
this pandemic don't be over, Chris. I fly out there. Trust me,
Freddie. I'll put everything I own on the line that I beat you 1-on-1.
All right, we'll see. We're gonna go live on All Sports All Plays and let them see it.
You don't want to do that.
All right. Defensive player here. So Brian goes with Rudy Gobert. We got Ben Simmons with Chris. We got Anthony Davis for Freddie. And I have Drew Holiday. All right, moving on. Next prediction. Sixth man of the year. We can't forget about the spark plugs off the bench. Now, and this was hard because you could go several places. Things done changed. Teams done changed. So this award most likely is going to change. It's been in that, Clippers area for a while there. So who I'm going to start? I'm going to start with Chris. He look anxious.
Yeah.
Chris, who you got six man of the year?
I mean, I'll be honest, this award can go a lot of places. And if somebody doesn't name, everybody's going. If nobody names this guy, who I originally wanted to go with before preseason started. But after preseason, my pick changed, and it's one guy I'm going to name if nobody else does. But when you look at the Sixth Man of the Year award, like you said, it's been with the Clippers. You had Montrez, you had Lou Will, you had Jamal Crawford. But who's the coach of that team? It was Doc Rivers. Where is Doc Rivers at right now? The Philadelphia 76ers. Now, after watching preseason and the fact that Shake Milton at 6'5", 215, 16 pounds, his game has gotten so much better on the offensive wise, being able to get to the basket. His shot is looking good. I mean, that first preseason game, 3 for 6 from the three-point line, 8 for 14 from the field, 3 assists, 19 points, and being able to score so easily. We know Doc Rivers loves his six man. We saw it with Lou. We saw it with Jamal, even Montrez. So I feel like Shake Milton is going to win the Sixth Man of the Year award because how much that coaching staff is loving him, with DeSantis Cassell being the point guard guru, which I call him, with Doc Rivers in his offensive system, just loving that six man that come off the bench and be so versatile when it comes to generating offense, scoring, and assisting. I think he's going to average like Lou Will was averaging, like 18 and 5. So I'm going with Shake Milton as winning this Sixth Man of the Year award. Sticking with Doc and his players.
All right. Freddie, Sixth Man of the Year. What Laker you going to pick?
It's so easy for me to go with the Lakers. We have Dennis Schroeder, which I don't know if he's starting to come out the bench yet. Yeah, Montrezl Harrell. But I'm not going with a Laker. Yeah, you're not baiting me into that. I'm going with reliable. Lou Williams. You're talking about playing for a team who this guy's been in a lot of chit chat, don't like this, don't like that. We all remember the chicken wings, the chicken wing Lou and the
Stop slandering Lou name.
Hey, I'm not
slandering his name.
That's legendary right there, my friend. I'm not slandering.
It's very legendary.
That's very legendary right there. But I believe this dude will come hungry. He's going to come motivated. And at times when that starting lineup is struggling, we've seen them put Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell in the game. And I think they're going to use Lou Williams the same way. I think he's going to light it up again this year, give you, like you said, 18 and 5. And I'm going with Sweet Tea Lou Williams.
Sweet Tea Lou Williams. All right. Brian, who you got? Sixth Man of the Year.
Sixth Man of the Year. Unfortunately, I'm going to pick a Laker, and it's Kyle Kuzma. Seeing what that other guy, that rookie, was doing in front of him, and I think he actually stepped his game up because he ain't trying to lose in the playing time. And I think that fire that the old boy done lit up under him is gonna get him that Sixth Man of the Year award.
Okay, cool. I wanted to go there, but I said, nah, I'm gonna go sponsor Bay. Chris and Coach Cam expect me to go.
I was
Hey.
gonna do it, but that preseason is what changed my mind.
Thank
It
you.
was like he ain't got no choice. He gonna have to come out here and ball.
Preseason changed my pick too, and I don't believe Coach Cam is going to say this player. So I'm anxious to see him when Coach Cam is done because preseason really changed my pick. I'll be honest.
Okay, now looking, at the rosters, looking at the few games, man. The 6th man of the year for me is going to be Karis LeVert.
I like that.
They bringing him off the bench this season, and I think that's easy 18 points off the bench. You talk about Karis LeVert, he can score on all 3 levels, and I think he's going to be really, of course you'll have Kyrie or KD out there with the second unit or interchangeable, but, you're going to have Karis LeVert really spearing that second unit, and I think he's gonna be like an 18-point scorer. He can give you about 5 rebounds, few assists, and I think if he does that in like 30 or less minutes, you got to give it to Karis LeVert. So that's who I see. Because he's gonna get a lot of good looks and a lot of good opportunities to to make shots. So I got Karis LeVert being the 6th man of the year.
Like Steve Nash say, he gonna play that mono role, Mono Ginobili.
Yeah.
Here's my name. That this was if it was for preseason, we did this before preseason. I would have said Carmelo Anthony. I mean,
he is coming off the bench.
You look at him in Portland. He has one job coming off that bench. That scored the ball. And if you telling Carmelo to score, he's going to score whenever against whoever, wherever on that court. Don't matter where he got to go. Post up, mid range, 3-pointer, cut into the basket. So I really feel like Carmelo Anthony is going to put in a strong season. And if he averages 16 to 17 points, gives you about 5 to 6 rebounds, he might be in that list. And Jordan Clarkson, but I like Melo a little bit more than Jordan Clarkson.
Now, Jordan Clarkson is a spark plug for the Jazz. That was a perfect fit for him.
Mm-hmm.
He finally landed somewhere where his abilities could be showcased. So I'm kind of happy for Jordan Clarkson there.
Same.
All right, moving on. Now, this one is tough. Most improved player of the year. That was Brandon Ingram last year. Who you got making that big jump moving forward? I'm going to go with Brian. Who you got that big jump this year?
I'm going to look at my hometown team, the Atlanta Hawks, and Cam Reddish.
Yes.
He's going to have to come out here and really play some ball in order for the Hawks to make some noise. I mean, coming out of college, he had already had the name for him. He can play. He just hadn't put it together yet. So this is going to be the year. I think he's going to actually put it together, make a name for himself, be the most improved player.
I love it.
There it is. I like that pick. I like that pick a lot. I'm gonna go with Chris. Who you got?
Now, who won the award last year? It was Brandon Ingram.
Brandon Ingram.
Freddie, you getting a little too hyped, brother.
Yeah, because I know where you going with this.
I mean, I've been saying this. I see Will's comment. I'm not going to bring it up, but that's the obvious choice. That's a guy. But I've been saying this for weeks, for months. I think the most improved player is going to be Lonzo Ball. You had Stan Van Gundy, who's going to, make Lonzo play the best that Lonzo can be. Lonzo's going to be able to push the ball. Lonzo's going to be able to have the ball in his hands and make plays. I'll be honest. No, I'm not going to say that to the end. I'm going to say that to the end. But regardless, when I look at Lonzo, last year he averaged about 11, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. But his 3-point percentage went up. At one point in time it was 30. Then it was 32. Last year it was 37. He keeps improving his game. I think Lonzo can average like 16, 8, and 8 this year. I truly do. And with the healthy Zion Williamson, it might even be double-digit assists because he's a guy that's going to put Zion Williamson in the best position for him to succeed. Zion Williamson, he hasn't showed that he has that offensive bag yet. So he's going to get a lot of, easy passes from Lonzo, a lot of lobs on the fast break. You still got Brandon Ingram. You got Steven Adams for the pick and roll. I really feel like Lonzo Ball's game is going to take that next step. And he didn't sign his contract, so maybe he's either banking on himself. We don't know. But I feel like he's going to have a career year. I'm talking about he may shoot 40% for the three-point line. I really feel like Lonzo Ball's going to have a breakout season. I've been saying this for months. Most of the things I've been saying, y'all, I've been saying for a while. I stand on what I say. I really feel like Lonzo's going to have a breakout year.
All right, Freddie.
I was hoping you're going to be for Chris Brown. I knew you were going to say it too. I had a feeling, man, because I watched him in preseason. He looked pretty good, man. Like that shot is going down. Man, hey, I'm just picking back off what Chris said. No need for me to waste time.
Yeah, so, hey, Unfortunately, I got Lonzo too, man. I got Lonzo too. Hey, it's time. It's time for Lonzo Ball to put it all together. It's time for him. That's a good pick as well.
I want to speak on that when you're done. I want
I
to speak
just
on that
think.
when you're done.
Okay, go ahead. I just think with Michael Porter Jr., I don't think he'll get enough opportunity still. You got a lot of, you guys still got Jamal Murray. You still got Jamal Murray that's gonna get his. You still got, Jokic that you play through. Remember, Porter Jr. got a lot of shot. Barton wasn't available. You know, Will Barton is there. You got guys that that take shot. I know Michael Porter will fall in line and he will get his
Listen,
points.
he's
But
going to get 20 this year. That was just obvious.
I don't know if
That's
he's
why
going. I don't know if he's
I
going to
see him
average
getting 20.
20.
I see
I
him
don't
getting
think
20.
so, man.
He's too good of a scorer.
So you got 3 guys averaging 20 from the Nuggets then. That's what you got.
You lose Grant, right? So you lose Grant in the offseason, which is a big loss. Millsap is not going to be playing 36 minutes a night. Okay, you got Barton, but Michael Porter Jr. can still be in that starting lineup. Michael Porter Jr. It looks like right now the best shooter on his team. And so you got a guy at 6'10" that can shoot the ball over 42% from the three-point line, and it looks like he's coming off the bench. So when we talk about 6 man of the year, if they keep him coming off the bench, he's going to have more of an opportunity to get his. I understand what you're saying. There's a lot of guys. You add in Will Barton, but you're taking away Grant, you're taking away some of the guys they lost on the bench. So whether he starts or coming off the bench, he's going to have a lot of shot opportunities that he didn't have last year, in my opinion.
Even with him coming off the bench, man, he's gonna be playing a lot. He don't have a lot of playing time, even coming off the bench.
He's definitely gonna get playing time. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. But we didn't mention the name Gary Harris. We didn't mention Monty Morris. We didn't mention JaMychal Green. They added.
These not scorers though. These not scorers though.
Monty Morris came off the bench and last year.
He's not shooting more than 10 shots a game, though.
He's not shooting more than 10 shots, but he can score. He can put the ball in the hole.
He could put the ball in the hole. But I look at Gary Harris. To me, he's a 3-and-D guy. That's not a guy you're going to run your offense through. JaMychal Green is a guy coming off the bench. He's going to be that spot-up shooter. I see what you're saying. They added a lot, but when you look at somebody that's to take up that, that's what Grant left. And that scoring ability. I know Will Barton is coming back. But when you look at the Nuggets, they need as much scoring as possible. And with Mike Malone, I feel like he's going to use him. The only thing, and we always talk about it, is defense.
Yeah,
he didn't play in the playoffs because his on-ball defense took a step back. He's a good help side defender. He can come in and block a shot because he's so athletic. But if his on-ball defense improves, he's going to be able to play. And before I shout out to Bol, I think Bol, if he plays with the loss of Plumlee, may have a chance to slip in there.
And that's key too, because as far as the 5 spot, Plumlee's that spot is for Bol. And Bol take the rebound, dribble it up, and pull from 27 and hit. I mean, this is a unicorn. Like this is like a Porzingis type player that they're molding. Nuggets can be really scary, but I do have Lonzo Ball. It's time for him to put it all together.
Yeah, and with Cam Reddish, I love that because I'm a big Cam Reddish guy. He reminds me of a good Paul George, not a playoff Paul George, but a guy that's 6'9", 6'10". That offensive bag is nasty. I can't wait to see him.
I like his offensive bag. I just want him to be more assertive, and I want him to be a little bit tougher. I need to see that from Cam Reddish, but he got the ability for sure. All right, the big boy question. We got the rookie of the year, coach of the year, most improved. But who gonna win the MVP? That's what it comes down to. Who gonna win the MVP? Freddie look like he ready to answer.
No, I don't want to answer. I just want to say before we go that we all know every year it should be one person, but they don't respect him. It should be LeBron really every year.
Okay, Freddie. I'm tired of you talking about LeBron and losing it. Every time we're in a group chat, you lose the argument when you bring up his name. So let me finish it for you. Yes, LeBron should win the 2018 MVP. He should win this year MVP, but you got to realize they don't think the award most valuable player. They need to change the title. See, just what player had the best season? Because they never go off value. They go off what player had the best season. So if you're talking about the most valuable player, yes, LeBron deserves it a lot. But they're not going to do that because they want to push a new superstar in the NBA. That's what it is. Everybody knows. See, it's not the who's the best player in the world award because even Giannis, the guy that's a 2-time MVP, acknowledged the fact that LeBron is still the best player. So. When it came to my list, LeBron's not on my list because I understand they're never going to give it to him. Unless he comes out this year after 30-point triple-double, then they have no chance to do it. But I don't think LeBron cares enough to go out and try to be so dominant in the regular season. I'm just tired of you losing. For y'all that don't know, Every time he brings up LeBron James in the group chat, he loses the argument. And I want to step in and help him, but I'm like, nah, I gotta let him die. I got to.
I don't think I lose, but I hold my ground.
Do he lose, Coach Cam? Do he lose, Coach Cam? Be honest.
Because it's against me, so of course he loses.
Exactly.
That's the thing. It's against me. Now look at anybody. I don't know, but against me, you gonna lose.
You gonna lose. Except
But-
for
I guess we just want to see the first of the year we bring these debates back around. And I ain't passing this time.
all right. MVP. I'm gonna still let you go, Fred.
All right. I'm going with my defensive player of the year, Anthony Davis.
Okay.
Why? Because I believe Anthony Davis is going to have to carry this Lakers team during the regular season, because I do believe that LeBron, because of the short turnaround, will take some nights off. You're talking about I think I said it last week. You're talking about the only teammate of LeBron James last year that actually averaged more points than him ever in his career. That's crazy to say that this is the first time in a LeBron James-led team that his teammate have averaged more points than him last year. Did y'all see in the preseason? If that three-point shot keep falling like that, oh my goodness, the league better stop it, man. Because if he get that three-point shot to fall like he did the game in the preseason where he knocked down like 5 or 6 threes, they better be worried. But you're talking about a player that could get you on the inside, on the mid-range, the three-point shot, and he do the same thing on the defensive end. And then you're talking about this dude that knows how to win now. He last year gave him so much experience. It's crazy. I'm going with Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis for the MVP and defense. So he pulling the Giannis.
He pulling the Giannis, King, all them guys.
Giannis, Brian, MVP. Who you got?
MVP instead of AD. I'm going KD.
I
Kevin
love it.
Durant.
I love it.
Coming off of that injury year, he's gonna come in and show everybody that he still got it. And being in Brooklyn, he got some help, but he's still gonna be the big guy. He's gonna be the big name there. Kyrie's there, and I think Kyrie's gonna carry his own if he can just keep his mind right. Whoever his mind is, I don't know. As long as he bring it to the court, he's gonna be all right. He's gonna help KD get them deep into the playoffs, and KD's gonna get the MVP.
Okay. I like that one. He was on my list too. He was definitely on my list.
Definitely. Chris Breezy, who you got?
Now, y'all know me. I don't like to go what everybody says. I will say this. If Joel was always more consistent as in playing time, I'm easily picking him. 18 points in 17 minutes a day didn't run up none of his plays. I think Joel's going to average 30 and 15, but he's not going to play enough games for him to win this award. So y'all going to look at me crazy, but when I throw out my seedings, y'all going to understand why I have this player win MVP. Young man in Phoenix, Devin Booker, will win this MVP award. Here's why. Coach Cam, I know how you feel about the Phoenix Suns, and I never argue with that. We got to see how these players play. But we do know how dominant Chris Paul is and how he's going to allow somebody like Devin Booker to go out and be that type of scorer. We do know what we saw in the bubble in this team. And I will say this. If it wasn't for DeAndre Ayton missing the first 25 games, they would have been the A seed. This team was destined to be a playoff team. So when you added Chris Paul, when you added Crowder, we had all of these guys. I think they're going to be a top seed in the West. Not going to tell you what seed just yet, but just know they're going to be a top seed in the West. You look at him last year, averaged about 26, 27, 6.5 assists, 5 rebounds. Last year, he had to be the main playmaker for this team. So when you added Chris Paul to be that main playmaker, Devin Booker only has to worry about scoring. Devin Booker offensive bag is nasty. He's like Bradley Beal with it. He doesn't need 1,000 dribbles to get his shot. His jab step is crazy. He can kill you at all 3 levels of the court. He can get to the paint. He has a mid-range. He's one of the best shooters in the game. So if you ask me, I think Devin Booker is going to average close to 28, 29 points this year because he doesn't have to be the main playmaker, and he's going to be able to score easier. I like Devin Booker winning the MVP. I know the obvious choices, but I'm not an obvious choice type of guy. Shout out to those guys. They probably have a better chance of making it, but I feel like if Devin Booker takes that next step, average 28, 29 points, and this team performs the way I think it will, I like him winning MVP.
Nice. And that's a good pick. I like, how you went. Not normal there, but I'm being full homer on there. I'm being full.
And I fully expect you to.
I got Luka. I got Luka winning the MVP. I think I just think the NBA kind of want him to be the face of this thing moving forward in a couple years, and he's getting better. Like he still got room to improve. I mean, last year even
3-point shot.
the 3-point shot wasn't even there, and you're talking about a 39-9 guy. Imagine if he just makes 2 more threes a game. You're talking about 35 points, triple double, arguably averaging. What the impact that he makes on a nightly basis, instantly what he did with this franchise was sort of remarkable, especially having to follow the shoes of Dirk Nowitzki. I do think that this year they will be much better than the 7th seed. I got them much higher, and I think his play will just propel him to win the MVP. I have him having a 30-point year, and close to 10 assists and 10 rebounds. This was just the type of player he is. He has to improve on defense, but what he does on offense is remarkable. One of the best passers in the game, makes it easy for everyone else. So I have Luka Doncic winning MVP. So
Shout
we
out
got
to Dame Lillard. His name didn't pop up, but he was never on my list. I like to go different, man. I think Devin Booker. I think he's going to have a terrific season.
Yep. So we got Freddie with AD. We got Devin Booker for Chris, and Brian brought it out this time and brought out KD. So that's our MVP predictions. Now it's time to see who we got in this playoffs, y'all. Time to see who we got in the playoff, East and West. So I'm gonna start off with Brian this time. Let's go with the East. Let's go with these. I think I want to do this. I want to go Eastern Conference for everybody, then Western Conference for everybody.
I like that.
So East, Brian, let's go.
I'll give you my number 1 seed. Unfortunately, it's going to be the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm not really sold on them winning that number 1 because they lost a couple of pieces. But until somebody actually knock them off, it's number 1. After that, you can just put all the rest of these in whatever order you want to put them in. You got the Boston Celtics, Miami Heat, Brooklyn Nets, Toronto Raptors, still going to be in there. The Pacers are going to sneak in somewhere. The Sixers, and then the Wizards. With Bradley Beal, John Wall gone, so you bring in Russell Westbrook. I think they're going to be able to work together, work it out. I don't know where they're going to fit in at, but they're going to be in the playoffs.
I like that. Freddie!
Hey, you muted, brother. Just don't know why we calling you anymore. I don't.
I got mine. Hey. We're not going to fight today, Chris. It's too close.
We're not. You just missed her. I mute my mic. I don't know why.
It's too close to Christmas, okay? All right. Number 1. I have the Bucks as well. We're talking about the regular season. We're not talking about the playoffs. Number 2. I have the Philadelphia 76ers. Just because of what they did all season, the depth they got, and the coaching experience they have there, I'm going with the 76ers. Then I have the Brooklyn Nets. Hey, you got Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving in that bench, in the rope race with Steve Nash. Yeah, I'm going with them. Then number 4, I'm going with the Boston Celtics. They addressed the problem. They needed a big man. We got Tristan Thompson there. We already know what Jason Tatum and Brown and Smart. We know what they're about, and Kemba. And then, after that, I'm going with the number 5. I'm going with the Miami Heat. Tough defensive team, led by Jimmy Butler and Eric Spoelstra, who could be a Coach of the Year candidate as well. So I'm going with them. Number 6, I'm going to the Toronto Raptors. You still have Kyle Lowry, Siakam, and them boys. And number 7 and 8 was kind of hard for me. I was going back and forth. I have the Wizards with John Wall and Bradley Beal. And number 8, I had the Pacers. I had the number 8 because I'm not for sure they might make a trade during the trade deadline. That's why I have them number 8.
All right. I like that.
Nate, that's
that's next topic.
That's a Nate list right there.
There, I see the Bucks 6.
That's a Nate list right there.
All right, Chris, go ahead. What you got? 1 through 8.
1 through 8. Number 1, I have the Brooklyn Nets. I told you this was a 7th seed last year. Then you go add a Kevin Durant, you add a Kyrie Irving, you add Landry Shamet, you add a Jeff Green, You add all these pieces to your roster with a new coaching staff. I feel like this team, their depth is crazy. I think they have the best depth in the NBA. I like them being the first seed. Number 2, I have the Milwaukee Bucks. Like y'all said, yes, Freddie, I do believe that. I think it's close, but I do believe that. Number 2, I have the Milwaukee Bucks. Like we all said, it's the regular season. They lost some pieces. You got a head coach that doesn't play his stars a lot, and your bench isn't the same with firepower that was the past couple years. But it's the Milwaukee in the regular season. They're going to do everything. Giannis is going to take 4 steps to a Euro. Can't do in the playoffs, but that's neither here nor there. The regular season, he's going to be able to get it done. Number 3, I like my Philadelphia 76ers. I feel like we did add a lot of pieces. We had a new coaching staff. This team, was on the fringe of being a 3rd or 4th seed last year, but we lost some games due to injury. We lost some games because we had a terrible coach. You had a new coach. You had more shooting. You had healthy players. This team could be very, very dangerous. Number 4, I like Miami Heat. I feel like they low-key added some pieces that a lot of people aren't talking about, which I love. And they were close to being a 4 seed last year. They just got into it with Indiana. But I feel like Miami Heat, they got better this offseason. They didn't get worse. I feel like Bam Adebayo game is going to improve a little bit more. Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson is going to be improved. You know what Jimmy Butler is going to bring to you. And I feel like everybody on that team improved and they added some. So I like that. Number 5, I like Boston at number 5. Now, the reason why I have Boston at 5 is because, first of all, Kemba Walker is going to be out for the beginning of the year. Secondly, you don't have no more Gordon Hayward. So when you got 2 scorers on your team, they only have 2 scorers in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Are they going to be able to score 70 between them? Can we count on Marcus Smart, to be a consistent scorer? They added a big man, but I wanted a guy that can, produce offensive-wise, not a defensive-wise. So, yes, they addressed that position, but it wasn't that big of a change to me. I think they degressed instead of increased, so I like them at number 5. Number 6, Brian, have your team. I have the Atlanta Hawks. I'm big on the Atlanta Hawks. I said it after the draft, they were going to be the 6th seed. I said this months ago. It's out there that they were going to be the 6th seed. I'm not going to change my word. I said this team would be a 6th seed or higher. They added so much to their team, and the teams, below them are teams that decreased, the teams that lost a lot. I think I look at Atlanta right now. Yes, we got see Trae Young take this team to the playoffs. But when you add so much, we have point guards, we have defenders, we have shooters, we have scorers. We got 2 good big men. And you got a rookie that hasn't played yet, but I think he's going to provide tremendous value. I think this is a team in the regular season that can win some games. I look at Atlanta last year. They lost so many games in the 4th quarter. When you add better players, I think it's going to be different. Number 7, I like Toronto. I do. Like I said, when I look at Toronto, I understand we're talking about the regular season, but they lost so much. They lost both of their big men. Their bench is not the same as it used to be. I don't like Toronto. I know it's a regular season now, but I think they lost so much. I don't know if they're going to be able to replace that this year. Number 8, I like the Pacers. I still think the Pacers, because they didn't blow it up, they got so many pieces on that team, and Brogdon and VO and Miles Turner and Sabonis and all those guys. I feel like they're still a playoff team.
All right. Well, my top 8. I got 1 Milwaukee. I just think they're a good regular season team, and not many new pieces. They know what they got. You know what I'm saying? Number 2, I got the Brooklyn Nets. I really think they are talented. I think the way that Nash and D'Antoni are going to have them running is very suited for their style of play. I do like what they have. Number 3, Boston Celtics. I still like Boston. I like Brad Stevens as a coach. I still like their pieces. I don't think they're going anywhere. I do think Tristan Thompson helped them on the rebounding tip. Maybe not offensively, but being able to rebound, he really helps. And also on the offensive glass, be able to give you extra. He's one of the best offensive rebounders in the game, and you giving extra shots to Tatum and them boys. I think that helps. For Philly, I got Philly there at 4. It's going to be definitely a formidable team, hard out. Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, all those pieces, and they have some depth. So I just want to, I'm not a big believer in the coach. I've been said this on this show. I'm not huge on Doc Rivers, but
better than my last coach.
But like I said, he is better than Brett Brown. I give you that. Number 5, Miami. And I think 2 through 5 is going to be real tight. It's not going to be a big difference. It's going to be like a game or 2. But I got Miami at 5. I like their team still. And they're going to be a hard out in the playoffs. 6, Toronto. I thought they perhaps won't not make the playoffs, but I didn't think they would sign back Fred VanVleet. So once they signed back him, I knew they would be a playoff team again. And number 7, I got the Indiana Pacers. I still like Victor Oladipo. I like Sabonis, Brogdon. They still got that team intact. Let's see how this new coach works. But I do have them 7. And 8, I got Washington Wizards. I got Washington at 8. Westbrook. I do see Westbrook and Beal being able to make the playoffs in the AC. And I know a lot of people like Atlanta, but they're on my what can go wrong will go wrong list. Um, you know, um, and they got to prove it to me. They got the talent down there, but you got rumor Rondo done got in trouble. Little stuff like that always happens. To these type teams, it seems to happen. But that's my 1 through 8 in the Eastern Conference. On to the West. Now this is gonna be. I don't think nobody will have the same playoff.
It's not. I promise you, nobody.
It can't.
Nobody.
It can't be because there's so many that can make it, and a lot of talented teams. So, Chris, Western Conference.
Ooh, we're gonna start with me. I'm gonna set the tone. Y'all know me.
That's why I went with you.
Now we'll say this. Just like last year, I do believe 2 through 7, 2 through 6 can easily be reversed. We saw last year, with the Western Conference, in the seeding games, there were changes so much. I feel like it's going to be the same this year. Number 1, the Lakers. I'm sorry. They improved. You add scoring, which, LeBron said they needed off the bench. You got Montrez. You got Kuzma. You got Dennis Schroeder, who I think will start, but that's still more offense. We talked about THT. Not saying he's going to have a big role, but if his defense stepped up, that's some scoring you have. You got KCP back. You added a Marcus All, who's a better passer. I feel like this team is still the best team in the West. In the regular season, I feel like they have enough to get it done. Number 2, I have the Portland Trailblazers. I do. I said it ever since they made the improvements that they did. I said the Portland Trailblazers added so many good pieces, they will take that next step. When you add a Robert Covington, a Derrick Jones Jr., when you got Rodney Hood back, when you had Enes Kanter, when you had Harry Giles, when you had all the pieces that you had to this team, the reason why they fell off the playoffs last year is because they had no depth. This year, you add depth to this team at every single position that was needed. They're going to improve. I mean, you got your point guard, you got your scoring, you got your defense, you got your shooting, you got your big men. They mark and they check all the boxes. I like Portland being 2. Number 3, I like the Denver Nuggets. Shout out to Mike Malone. This team will get it done in the regular season. I understand they lost Grant, but I feel like Michael Porter Jr. is going to be able to step up and take that next role. Number 4, I like the Clippers. I look at their roster. They still have a very good roster. I do like their bench. It's not the bench, the best bench, but I like what they got. And I do think Kawhi Leonard is still Kawhi Leonard. He's going to be able to carry a team. Paul George in the regular season, he does his thing. You add a Serge Ibaka who's going to be able to space the floor out. I feel like this team is going to get better. I feel like Ty Lue is going to be able to hold these players accountable. Number 5, I like the Phoenix Suns. I talked about Devin Booker and if this team's going to be able to take the next step. I like what they added in Crowder and CP3, getting back Sarge. You got E'Twaun Moore, a 42% three-point shooter. DeAndre Ayton, like I said, he's healthy, he's playing. He's an easy 20 and 10 type of guy. They check all the boxes. They should have been a playoff team last year. Things went different, but I like them being a playoff team this year. Number 6, I like the Mavs. And I like the Mavs at 6 only because without Kristaps, I don't know how they're going to start. I know they're going to be a dominant team. I know they're going to be great. And there's no knock against the Mavs. There's no knock on any of these teams. I feel like they can switch. But for right now, I just like the Mavs at 6. Number 7, I like the Rockets. I'll be honest. Y'all making that face. I like the Rockets. I do. I told y'all this. You making that face, but I've been saying this for weeks. If they keep James Harden, I like what they have. You check all the boxes at big man. You still got guards. You got scoring. You got shooting. And if they trade him, I feel like when you trade James Harden with the asking amount they had, and even if you trade him to Brooklyn, they trade all those players, you're still going to have a quality basketball team, a good enough team that I feel like that can make the playoffs. You got the big man, you got the guard, you got the shooting, you got the scoring. You trade that James Harden, you get 4 to 5 players, quality players, you're still going to make the playoffs. And number 8, I like the Golden State Warriors. I said it. I said I love James Wiseman, what he's going to be able to bring to this team. You don't even have to draw no plays, and I feel like he can average 16 to 10. And I love Andrew Wiggins. I've been saying this for weeks. Andrew Wiggins in a new team with a new culture, with a new coach, because he had a terrible coach every time he was in Minnesota. He's going to be rejuvenized. You had a Kelly Oubre who's averaging 18 last year. I love what he did. I love what this team did. At the end of the day, Golden State is Golden State, and I feel like they can make the playoffs.
Chris, did you have the Utah Jazz on your list?
No. We got a topic called disappointed team, and they was on that list. I'll just be honest. Utah Jazz didn't add anything. They stayed the same. I look at all these other teams. The Phoenix Sun added. The Portland Trailblazers added. The Warriors added. I'm sorry. I'll be honest with you. I don't go with the norm. I like what I saw of those other teams. I didn't like the fact that Utah Jazz didn't add anything.
They did. They added some pieces.
Who they add?
They had Derek Favor. They needed a big man. And
He not going to change anything. He's just replacing Tony Bradley, who just grabbed a couple of rebounds. He not giving you 15 points. They didn't add nothing spectacular. It's my list. You don't got. I'm not critiquing your list. It's my list.
I'm just shocked.
All right,
I
Freddie.
don't go with the norm. Y'all know that.
That's a hot take right there, ladies and gentlemen. All right, number one. I'm going with the championship Lakers. That's getting their rings tomorrow night, by the way. Congratulations to all of them players. Number two, like Chris said, it's going to be different. The Dallas Mavericks, I have them at number two. Luka and Kristaps, when Kristaps Porzingis come back, I believe he's going to miss part of the season. But I definitely think them two right there is going to be hard to beat. Then number three, I'm going to the Denver Nuggets. Yes, I would have had the Nuggets number two, but them losing Jeremy Grant kind of forced me to put them number three. Even though I know they have Porter, even though I know Will Barton's coming back, I thought Jeremy Grant was a big piece of that team. And number four, I have the Clippers. What the Clippers doing, brought in Serge Ibaka, bring in Luke Kennard, and them boys. I believe that that's going to be a big pickup with Kawhi Leonard. Then, to be honest with you, they're trying to be like the Lakers yet again, talking about running Kawhi Leonard to the triangle. That's another discussion for another day. Number five, I'm going with Portland. Dame Dollar, Dame time, game time. You know, him and CJ, Robert Covington, Carmelo Anthony on the bench. I believe, like Chris said, they have all the depth that they have. I believe that they will be able to handle the business. Then I have the Utah Jazz. You know, Chris said they didn't add much, but hey, they're still a good team. I mean, they're going to give you, 45, maybe 50 games. I mean, they still have Mike Conley, which I think last year he did not have the best of year, but he's a veteran. He knows that, and he worked on his game. And I'm pretty sure I'm expecting him to come back and play a lot better than he did last year. Donovan Mitchell just got paid. Straight baller. He's going to do whatever he had to do to carry this team. And Rudy Gobert, hey, you guys, one of you guys had him, as your defensive player of the year this year. And so I believe that he'll anchor the defense. And then when you have a Bojan Bogdanovic, when he get hot. He can hit you he can score all kind of ways. So I believe that'll be a big pickup. And then you have Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench. So, and don't forget, you still have Joe Ingles. So this team still have a lot of depth with it. So. And then after that, I have the Phoenix Suns. I'm not really too high on them just yet, but just because, like Coach Cam said, they're what can go wrong will go wrong team. They have to prove it during the season. I believe in CP3. I know what he can do. And Devin Booker, he lights out. He can score the ball no matter what. You cannot contain him at all. This dude, when he get hot, you just need to get out the dude way. And number 8. I have the Houston Rockets. Even without James Harden, you have John Wall who's balling. You have DeMarcus Cousins. You have nothing but dogs on this team. They have that dog mentality, that dog mindset. I believe that they can get you an 8 seed.
All right, Brian. West.
In the West, like a couple of other people said, number one, Lakers. It just is what it is. When you got LeBron and AD, I mean, just put marking down as number one. Now, my 2 through 8,
interchangeable.
Either one of these can be 2 through 8. So whoever the slot is, it really doesn't matter how you gonna go with it. You got the Denver Nuggets, Portland Trailblazers, the Clippers, which I don't have a lot of faith in, but I'm gonna put them down there. Utah Jazz, Dallas Mavericks, Golden State Warriors, Oubre, Clay. Well, Clay's out. Whenever he come back, I don't know. But when they added Oubre and you got Wiseman, I'm sliding them in 7, 8, somewhere around there. And rounding out, it's going to be the Pelicans. They got a lot of talent still on that team. Everybody's a year older, year more of experience. They got to come out better. And you bring a new coach in there, you shipped out your old one who still got you to the playoffs. Bring in somebody else, you better make them better. You ain't got no choice.
Yeah, I think ours sound pretty much almost the same, Brian. I got 1 Lakers, I got 2 Nuggets, I got 3 Mavericks, I got 4 Clippers, I got 5 Portland, I got 6 Utah. I like Utah. Utah don't never have nothing, but you
They
know,
make it. I respect it. It's no disrespect.
Quinn
He's a good
Snyder.
coach. He's a
Great
good
coach.
regular season coach.
Yeah, so I like Quinn. I'm gonna go with Golden State, and I got the Pelicans. More reason why I got Stan Van Gundy as the coach of the year, getting them into the playoffs. And really kind of turning them around there. And I just think, hopefully, and Zion healthy, that's just going to be a big key. If he stays healthy, I think they can make that push for the ace spot. I noticed I didn't have Phoenix on there.
I had a different list, didn't I?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely had a different list, and I definitely respect that. I understand they got Chris Paul. I like Monty Williams as a coach.
I love him.
I like Jay Crowder edition. Like, I like what they have, but something may go wrong. Like, it's just I gotta see it. That's all I gotta see it. Until I see it, I can't put them in there.
And that's how I feel on Golden State, man. Because without Clay, I need to see, can Steph Curry stay healthy the whole season, which I don't think he can when he has to be the guy. Like, now he stepped up where, hey, like, you have to be the dude. I know you have Kelly, I know you have Wiseman, I know you have all these cats, but you have to be the man, Steph. You gonna have to carry this team. And will he be able to do this? I think they went 72 games, 73, something like that. Can you do that for a whole season?
I'm not sure about a lot of players, Freddie. I'll be honest. Your guy,
his history, though.
Same thing with AD. When you talk about injury history, he's been having it since he's been in the league. I'm not clowning you. I'm saying you. I mean, we can sit up here and make a list of every superstar. We got to see what they're going to do.
This team's not as deep. That's why I don't have them as a playoff team.
Okay. It's not as deep, but you got to look at now, who's really counting on Steph and saying that he's going to get them back to a number 1, 2, 3, or 4 slot. Nobody.
But
I think he's going to get them to the playoffs.
Yes,
because he has some healthy players on his team now.
More experience.
He's out. They got more experience, and you got some size where it's going to be more defense. That I think they're going to focus on. That's going to get them through winning games versus trying to just outscore everybody.
And it's still Steph Curry, okay? You talking about always let's put respect on his name. Let's put some respect on Steph Curry's name. Before KD came in there, Steph Curry was giving you 29, 30 a game. He took a step back to let KD flourish. Let's not act like Steph Curry not one of the best. When we talk about shooting, he can shoot the ball, but he's still a dominant scorer. So if all he has to do is worry about scoring and you got a whole bunch of defenders around you, and me personally, I'm big on Andrew Wiggins. I've been saying this for a while. A new culture means a lot. A new coach means a lot. A new everything around you means a lot. He still has untapped potential. It's crazy, isn't it? This is all I gotta say. It's just crazy to say a guy still has untapped potential and he's giving you 22 a game.
See, he's gonna have to tap it because he's on 3rd or 4th team by now, and you're young. There's no reason you should be.
I think this the year he's tapping it.
He's gonna have to. He's got to.
Yeah.
All right, that was the West 1 through 8, and the East 1 through 8. So it's really about to get heated up in here now, because now we got to dig into some of these teams that we think may be a sleeper team, a team ain't nobody talking about that can really come out of this thing. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna start with Brian. Who you got?
My sleeper is not necessarily a sleeper to everybody else because I got the Phoenix Suns.
Mm-hmm.
I know what they did in the bubble a few months ago, and they went 8-0, 9-0. They're not necessarily smoking everybody, but they were putting it together and they were winning. Now you add a couple more pieces to it, I think it's going to go up from there. Now how far up, I don't know, and I think that they could easily make that playoff picture within the 6, 7, or 8 slot. So my sleeper is going to be the Phoenix Suns.
Freddie, who is your sleeper? Who you got?
Game time. I'm going to Portland Trailblazers. You talking about Dame Dollar. Man, this team been on the verge for the last couple of years of being really close. They've been, I'm not talking about outside of last year. Last year they dealt with a lot of injuries. But before then, you knew this team was always in the mix of it. They always got hot when it came to playoffs. But, we all said it. This team added what they needed. They have depth. They got in Robert Covington, who can be that big at that 4 position. Now you don't have to worry about Melo on the floor on that starting position. I actually thought Dame Dollar, when him and Enes Kanter played a few years back, that was the best basketball Enes Kanter played in his career in a while. In my opinion, I think. And then you're talking about you have C.J. McCollum as your as a second man. You know that dude can score. But bringing in Darius Jones Jr., this dude is another defender who can guard a Kevin Durant, can guard a LeBron James, who can be that body, but he can also score as well. But I'm going with the Portland Trailblazers, my sleeper team, with the big man that they have. Rodney Hood's coming back from injury, but let's not sleep on this cat. And he can go down for 6 men as well too. Gary Trent Jr. This dude can come out there and be the spark that they need. He can score at will whenever he gets ready to. And him and Carmelo off the bench will be nasty, in my opinion.
All right, Chris.
Well, yeah, y'all know Portland was one of my teams. I've been saying it for a while with everything they added. They added defense, which we all been saying that's what they've been missing. So I'm not going to say it again because I said it so much. I go to the team, and I had an East that nobody else had in the playoffs but me, the Atlanta Hawks. You know, I know we have to see it to believe it, but we can literally say that about every team that gets new. So I understand your argument, but I believe it. I believe it. When you got a Trae Young, a Bogdanovich, a Hunter, when you got Cam Reddish, a Hubert, when you got Rondo when he comes back, you got Danilo Gallinari, you got John Collins. They're going to have, first of all, they're going to have a lot of offense, right? We know they're going to have a lot of offense. Now, can these guys do what I'm going to look forward to is a Chris Dunn. You know, I think Cam Reddish needs to take a next step in the defensive wise. We know what Clint Capella is defensively. I think this team is going to shock a lot of people. And in the playoffs, you know, I'm not going to say they're going to the finals, but I'm going to say this is a team that can do anything. Like I say in the NFL, like I say in the NBA, you got some teams that can beat anybody and lose anybody, and that's a dangerous team. And I feel like that's the category Atlanta's going to fall in this year. I love them, and I think they're going to be a sleeper team.
All right. Hey, a team, and that's a great pick. But the team that I have here, and it's not necessarily a team that's going to make the playoffs, but I think it's a team that's going to go close to making the playoffs, and I think they're going to make some noise, and I think it'll help them be better in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Chicago Bulls.
I like that one.
I like the team that they have. You know, I like the pieces that they have. You talk about Kobe White. I think he's one of the young, up and coming point guards in the NBA. I think he's going to really make a jump, and he's one of the guys that I have far as thinking about most improved as well. Kobe White. I think you're going to see his numbers improve. Of course, you got Zach LaVine. Lauri Markkanen. I like Wendell Carter Jr. And also, and they added some veteran leadership to that team. A player like Garrett Temple, helped the Nets in the bubble, play really well, and into the playoffs. You talk about, they still have Otto Porter there. He's a solid player, but the contract is terrible. And Patrick Williams has played well. In the preseason, he was one of the ones that I thought would be kind of disappointing. It was a bad pick, and I admitted that. So I like what they're doing, and I think they'll play solid ball. Not enough to get into the playoffs, but it'll be a team where if you come out and you're not focused, I think they're the team that can beat you. So I look for the Chicago Bulls to get better. It's about time for them to, try to turn that ship around there in Chicago. All right, moving on. We almost headed to the home stretch here. Now we got to talk about the disappointment. Who's going to be the disappointing team? And I'm going to go to Freddie on this one.
Y'all already know where I'm going with this.
Yep, I do.
The Los Angeles Clippers. Man, there's going to be too many distractions for this team, I believe. And I believe with them not having that clear-cut leader on this team, they're not going to be able – nobody's going to be able to settle this team down, get them through all the distractions. You have Kawhi Leonard's added to the distraction. You talking about him and his contract. They're going to be too worried about what is Kawhi going to do. Is he going to stay? Is he going to leave? You have Lou Williams talking out. You have too many things. Tyronn Lue. There's going to be a lot for Tyronn Lue, man. I mean, I understand he's a good coach, but what's going on with the Clippers, this is not like, hey, then you got the legal assets that's going over there and with Kawhi Leonard and Jerry West. You got that. You have Paul George. him coming off a bad playoff run last year. He's running his mouth too much. It's going to be too much of a distraction. The Clippers really didn't add what they needed. They didn't really add a true big man, even though they got Serge Ibaka, who's a good, he's really a power forward, but he can guard some centers. But when you talk about going against a Joel Embiid, a big body center like that, can he guard him? No, he can't. So and then they needed a point guard. Did they fix that problem? No, they didn't. So then they talking about running the triangle for Kawhi Leonard. Oh, stop it. I mean, yeah, they're going to be disappointed this year.
Now, I'll say one thing, Freddie. I agree with you on that. Any new coach has tried to run the triangle besides Phil Jackson has failed miserably. So I agree with you on that one, Freddie. That's going to be a terrible move.
I guess he thinks since he played back there with Kobe and Shaq, I guess that he think he can come in there and bring it. Like, no, stop it. No, sir.
Okay, so you got the Clippers. I'm going to go with Chris. Chris, most disappointing team.
I have two teams, honestly, and there's two teams that I kind of alluded to all episode. All show. First team, I'll go with the Utah Jazz. Like I said, I don't really feel like they added a lot. I understand that they're a good regular season team. When you got Portland adding a lot of pieces, they did. When you got the Phoenix Suns adding a lot of pieces, they did. I think the Mavs are going to be a better team. I think the Nuggets are going to be a better team. I like the Warriors and I like the Rockets. When I look at their rosters, I like those coaches and I like the players more than I do the Utah Jazz. Look at their team. They got, I think, maybe two guys that's going to give you 20. Jordan Clarkson, sometimes he's here, sometimes he's not. But if Jordan Clarkson's not scoring off the bench, you're done. You're done. You're not winning anything. I don't think Rudy Gobert is going to live up to his contract. And I don't know what happened to Mike Conley. I hope, because I was always a big fan of Mike Conley. He's going to be able to perform better. But if he performs like the way he did last year, this is not going to be a good basketball team. The second team, I have the New Orleans Pelicans. And this is not because I don't like these players. You hear me talk high about these players all the time. I love them. But, people saying they're going to make the playoffs, these high expectations, I don't see that, and here's why. Eric Bledsoe. I do not like Eric Bledsoe. This guy gets overhyped. They talk about he's a defensive guy, not better than Drew Holiday. They talk about, he can score. No, he can't. In the playoffs, we see that shooting disappears. In the regular season, sometimes he's shoddy. I don't like him starting with Lonzo Ball. I feel like he's going to try to take away the ball, away from Lonzo too much. I just don't like those two as a backcourt. I'd rather have J.J. Redick starting. And when I look at their bench, you got J.J., you got Josh Hart. Who else do you really have? I like Jackson Hayes, but I'm waiting to see him take that next step. He's not that offensive guy. I don't think this team is going to make the playoffs. If everybody's saying they make the playoffs, I just don't believe in it. I think they're going to be a very good team, but I think they're going to disappoint a lot of people this year.
Chris Brown, did you just say the Pelicans have Lonzo and Eric Bledsoe starting together?
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah,
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I understand that wasn't the trade. It wasn't Drew for Eric Bledsoe. You got some picks, but I feel like y'all got to move Eric Bledsoe if you want Lonzo to shine. I feel like you don't get another ball dominant guy next to Lonzo. You don't do that. Just like the same thing, when you have a LaMelo, you got guys that are so obvious and the best playmaker on your team that can control the pace, can do everything and make everybody better. You don't add another ball dominant guy. I personally don't like that backcourt. I don't like this team making the playoffs. I hope they all have good seasons, but the expectations people have for this team, I don't see it. And I don't think, yes, they want to make the playoffs, but it's not playoff or bust for this young team because you got a future ahead of them. So that's my two teams. I feel like they're going to be, disappointed.
You know what? I don't think the Pelicans will be disappointing now. Bledsoe and Lonzo. So
that's disgusting.
I don't like that, but maybe Stan Van Gundy got something figured out. But as far as the disappointing teams for me, it's two teams that most of you guys love. The Atlanta Hawks and the Phoenix Suns. A lot of moves were made for the Atlanta Hawks. And I want Trae Young. He needs to show me that those 30 and 10s can turn into wins. To mean something. We seen Kevin Love give you 25, 13 MVP type years and lose year in and year out. We seen these type of guys. We even see KG some years, and he's a legend, have MVP type seasons, can't win. We seen AD have MVP level seasons, can't win. So I want to see, is he gonna be an empty stat guy, or is he gonna or these stats gonna lead to wins? That's what I want to see from Trae Young. That's the next step. I don't know in Atlanta if that could be it. I really don't. I really don't. Lloyd Pierce, the jury's still out on him. What can he do? I hope he does well, but not sure. Phoenix Suns. Now, Phoenix Suns, honestly, I'm just picking them because just the history's bad. Really, they have the team. Like I told you before, once Jay Crowder signed, I really loved him. But it's the Phoenix Suns.
Terrible management. Let's just put it out there.
Bad management.
Terrible management.
And honestly, I don't like their bench. Their bench to me, I don't like their bench. I'm sorry. I really don't like it sustained over a long period of time. They may hit or miss. You may see them good here or there. Like I like Javon Carter, good defensive guy off the bench.
You got Jalen. You got Dario.
See what I watched.
Cameron. You got each one more 40% 3-point shooter.
I watched Jalen the other night. He kind of looked lost. I think he needs some more time. I think he'll be a good player. I think he needs some more time. Cameron Payne, he played well in the bubble, but I had not high expectations, but I had better expectations for him coming out of Murray State.
We all did.
Just did not. So, like I said, I don't want to rely on the bubble stats. The bubble stats plays a lot of cats. Got a lot of cats paid. I want to see what they do outside the bubble when you got to travel to another arena. Jalen, it's different. It is different. So, Phoenix is more of just the history, honestly, with you. But those are two teams that I think that would be a little bit disappointing this season. All right. Now, the ultimate question here. Mm-hmm. We can't duck it. Mm-hmm. Who's going to be in the NBA Finals? And I ain't going with you, Freddie. I ain't starting because I already know one of your teams. So I ain't going.
I don't want to go first.
We don't want you to go first anyway.
You know what? I got a feeling where Chris going on this team, so I ain't going there neither.
I
want Brian first because I know Brian. Who you got?
All right, coming out of the West, I got the Denver Nuggets coming out of the West.
I like it.
Now coming out of the East, I got a repeat of the East with the Miami Heat.
I like
that. It's gonna be a Nuggets Heat final.
Nuggets and Heat finals. That'll be some interesting matchups there too on that court. All right, Freddie, go ahead.
Let Chris go. I won't.
Go, Freddie. No passing. Go ahead.
I can't.
Let me cut both of y'all off because I ain't give you my disappointment teams. I had two of them. It was the Clippers and the Houston Rockets.
Oh,
because I don't know what James Harden's mindset is going to be. Mm-hmm. I understand John Wall came in there and he's going to do something because he got something to prove from leaving Washington. But I don't know what they're going to prove. I don't know how they're going to work that out. So I'm looking at the Clippers and the Houston Rockets.
And my bad, Brian, on that. I thought I got you, so I do.
No, you good.
I do apologize.
I'll go first.
Yeah, you going? What's up?
Yeah, you ain't had no choice.
We know one of your team, but who coming out the East?
Who's coming out the East? I hate to do it. The Philadelphia 76ers. Why am I saying them? Yes, I know Brooklyn got KD and Kyrie. I know Milwaukee. I don't believe they do in the playoffs. This team right here with Doc Rivers, he's going to have Joel Embiid playing the best basketball of his career. He's going to put him in the post. He's going to make him work. Ben Simmons, we know what Ben Simmons is going to do. He's going to be their leader. He's going to push the pace. He's going to play defense. He's going to get you on the inside. You have a Danny Green. You have a Seth Curry. You have a Dwight Howard. You have the rookies. Man, I have their defense is going to be able to slow down Brooklyn, in my opinion. And in the West, I'm going back with my Los Angeles Lakers. Y'all already know. I guess this might be more emotion because I want to see that. I want to see Chris Brown versus Freddie. And if it happens, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hope we can go live right before each game. And that happens, we'll go live right before each game. Me and Chris Brown, just me and him. And that'd be special. Make it happen, Joel. Make it happen, LeBron. We'll see.
Chris Brown. We know what team coming out the East. Who coming out the West?
Now I'll say this before I give my answer. I'm gonna be honest. The diversity this NBA season is crazy. You know, I think there are at least 14 teams that can make the NBA Finals. It really all depends on matchups. It honestly all depends on matchups. You look at the Rockets last year. I feel like they would have, had a better outing if they went against the Clippers or even the Nuggets. More likely the Clippers. But this year, I think it all depends on matchups. Adis, like Freddie said, I really feel like my Philadelphia 76ers can make it. It depends on matchups. I feel like with Doc Rivers being able to, honestly, Joel Embiid, be the most dominant center, and you can be the most dominant player in the game, let you work in the playoffs. I feel like Ben Simmons' game is going to take an increase. When you add all the shooters, when you add the defense, we have the bench. Our bench is so much better than I thought it would be. Furkan Korkmaz, everybody been like, who that? Just know he's a 43% shooter, shooting about 6 threes a game. You got Shake Milton, you got Scott, you had Dwight Howard, you got Matisse Thybulle, who can guard 1 through 4. You got a Tyrese Maxey, who's a combo guard. We added so much. I feel like we can make it out the East. It's going to be tough, but I feel like we can do it. And out the West, I'm sorry. I've been saying it all episode. This team, the most surprising team, I got Portland coming out the West. I think, like I said, it all depends on matchups. I will say this. Like I said, let me say this. 14 teams can make the finals. The 2 teams most likely to make the finals are going to be the Lakers and the Nets. Let's just be honest. Those are the first 2 favorites. But me personally, depending on matchups, and I'm giving the Lakers their respect, I want to see Portland and I want to see Philly. I want to see two new teams in the mix, 2 new teams that added a lot in the mix. When I look at Portland, it all depends on matchups. When you add the wing depth that they did, that they've been missing for year after year after year, they made it to the Western Conference Finals. They made it to the second round. The only thing that's been hurting them is wing defense. When you had a Robert Covington Jr., the best 3D guy in the game, we had a Derrick Jones. When you got 2-3 guys at each position, I feel like this is their year, and I think Portland can come out the West this year.
Portland, now that's them different. I like that. I like that you came with something different there. For me, in the Eastern Conference, coming out, you know what? I do got the Brooklyn Nets.
Deservedly so.
I tried to go elsewhere and tried to break it down, but the way they looking, man, the way they look so good, and they deep,
Every position.
I just can't. And they got defenders. I can't really
I'm not
pick
like
against. I know
14 teams.
I'm
14 teams can make
I'm
this
not
fun.
mad. I'm not mad at anybody's pick. In the West, man, I'm going Brooklyn Nets, and I'm going Dallas Mavericks. I'm going Homer. You know what I mean? I think it's time. I like the way how we added some defenders, and also a lot of people don't know Dwight Powell tearing his Achilles last year with a big loss.
Willie.
And then you get Willie Cauley-Stein as a rim protector, defender, rebounder. Both of those guys are good at that, and now that gives Kristaps Porzingis not so much responsibility of trying to protect block every shot and be the ultimate rim protector. And then you add the trade straight up with the Sixers, Josh Richardson and Seth Curry, that helps them with the shooting and it helps us with the perimeter defense, and we get the shooting on top of that. I like what we have, and also off the bench, our bench is always good. You got Jalen Brunson and those guys coming off the bench. And I'm glad you're disappointed, Madison. 2014. Anyway,
Can I say something about your Mavericks?
Go ahead.
And hot take, call it what you want. Kristaps Porzingis doesn't messes up his knee. They're beating the Clippers. You're beating the Nuggets, and you're going to the Western Conference Finals. I stand on that. I stand on that.
I believe that. I believe that because Luka was on a mission. Luka was on a mission.
Dominating.
And and everybody was around him was playing well.
Kristaps was on a mission too.
Mm-hmm.
His game doubled in a bubble.
Yeah, so I got the Nets and the Mavericks, man. I think those would be good. I wanted to go Portland, but their backcourt's too small, man.
I feel you on that.
When you on the defensive end, they could get buckets. I ain't worried about that. But on the defensive end, it's like I ain't worried so much about Dame, even though his defense is bad. It's CJ. That's
Yeah.
who work because he gonna have to go up against 6'7" shooting guards,
Mhm.
and it's a hard matchup to have, and that's why I just couldn't put Portland above there. But you
Shout out to
know,
all these teams making the playoffs because I believe 14 teams can make the finals. The Lakers and I'll say this: the Lakers and the Nets. If you want to bet money, bet on those two guys. Those two guys are the team that I would love to see. I didn't want to go with the norm. They can easily make the finals. I think the Lakers are the favorite. You got to give respect to the team that won last year, and they improved. Me though, I don't like to go with the norm, but I want to see Philly and I want to see Portland. I think that's going to be a hell of a series.
yes, that would definitely be a good series. All right, getting to the end of this thing, we got 2 games coming up tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Start of the NBA season where they count. They count the win-loss column. What are your thoughts on the Nets and the Warriors? I'll start with Chris. Nets and Warriors. How you feel about that one?
I mean, it sucks that one, we don't get to see a Clay, but you got Kelly Oubre, so okay, they still got defensive guys there, but there's like no Draymond, so it's not going to be the same matchup that we wanted to see. And I don't know if James Wiseman is playing. Last I heard, he's not, which is sad. So if he's not playing, you taking away another player. So with that being said, man, I think the Nets are going to destroy him. I'm just going to be completely honest. I think the Nets are going to be able to do their thing. I think KD. I want to see KD and Andrew Wiggins go at it. That's the matchup I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm looking forward to see Spencer Dinwiddie in the starting lineup, how he's going to be able to translate in a regular season game. But I do think the Nets are going to take care of business with their first game. Steve Nash is going against his old team that he, was a player development coach. Kevin Durant against his old team. Good storyline. But with the Warriors having so many players not playing, it's not going to be the same type of game. I like the Nets.
Freddie.
I absolutely agree with Chris Brown. The Nets have too much firepower for the Golden State Warriors team. Seeing, you ask too much of Steph Curry on the first game to carry this team to beat a Brooklyn Nets team with Kyrie, KD, Spencer Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, and them boys. It's going to be too much. I expect for it not to be even close. By the way, I believe that Brooklyn will run off with it, and KD, Kyrie might not even play the fourth quarter.
There you go. What you got, Brian?
I think it's going to be a Brooklyn Nets blowout also. But the one thing that I am looking for with Golden State is to see if Andrew Wiggins has any type of focus and what is his mindset with this year. Like I said, he's been on too many teams for him to be this young. So if he doesn't come out focused, look like he's ready to go, like he's ready to carry the team, even with Steph there, I still want to see him be looking like he's ready to carry the team.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm 100% with you on that.
Yeah.
So for me, Nets and Warriors, I don't think it's going to be a complete blowout. I think the Nets do win. Warriors got something to prove. It is weird where, you got players on that team that won 3 championships that got something to prove. But, they got something to prove. Last year was crazy. I know it was a lot of injuries, but there's no reason, even at the beginning of the year before they got injured, they were looking awful. They were looking about 0-3, 0-4, and they just wasn't looking good at all. They got to get this thing back rolling. I don't think they win tomorrow night. No Draymond. That obviously hurts, them defensively. But I do look for them to be better. They got something to prove. I think Steve Kerr got something to prove. To me, he was just sitting on the sideline, not pushing many buttons. I didn't see much coaching from Steve Kerr when they was getting their tails kicked. So I want to see, how the Warriors come out. I think it'll be a competitive game tomorrow. But I think the Nets are just too much, and I think they will win the first game of the season. All right, last topic. Thoughts on the Lakers and the Clippers. Battle of LA. You know what? I think, should we give him the floor, y'all?
I'm not gonna give him the big screen because because he's talking and nobody can hear him, so he don't deserve it.
Oh, see, I tried to.
I'm not even talking. I'm whispering.
Oh, okay.
That's bad. That's even worse. I give you a semi big screen, Freddie. As long as if you say something crazy, I'm taking it off.
Give him a semi big.
Oh, when we go. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you saw you.
All right, ladies and
He
gentlemen.
already messed up. You already like. How do you start off with? You want me to go first? Like you already messed up, my guy. Like,
Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow's gonna be a beautiful night. You know, we're gonna be getting some beautiful jewelry on our fingers. You're gonna be getting beautiful banner put up in the Staples Center. It will not be covered up by the Clippers. Little whatever they got up there tomorrow night because we're playing in our home. We're the home team. I expect my Lakers to be very emotional, but I expect them to be very motivated because they want to feel that moment again. The Clippers, nah, they're gonna be over there pouting. Patrick Beverly gonna be trying to hide his face. Paul George gonna be shooting the ball against the backboard yet again. I expect this game to be a competitive game. The first 3 quarters, I believe, is gonna go back and forth. But I believe in the fourth quarter, LeBron James and Anthony Davis is going to remind the world why they're the best duo in the NBA. They're going to remind you, LeBron's going to remind you why he's still the king of the NBA. So I expect this game to be 105 to 100. It's going to be a close game. It's not going to be no far sketch game. It ain't going to be nobody going to beat by no big margin of points. But I do believe it's going to be a close game. But I have the Lakers winning.
Brian, thoughts on Lakers and Clippers.
Lakers, Clippers. I'm looking at the Lakers, and I actually don't have it as that close of a game as Freddie has. I'm looking at least 10, 15 points the Lakers are going to win by. And I say that because I think Paul George is going to come out and try to do too much because of how much he has talked during the offseason. I think he's going to try to show people that I'm not just talk. I can actually come out here and play and hold my own, and I just don't see it. And I think him trying to overdo it is going to actually get everybody out of sync. Going to get everybody out of rhythm, and they're going to end up losing by, like I said, 10, 15 points.
10, 15. Go ahead, Chris. Thoughts on Lakers and Clippers?
Now, when they played last year, the Clippers won most of the matchups. But if you really break it down, the Lakers were winning by like 15 to 17 points in the third quarter. They showed why they were the better team. They showed the, chemistry problems with the Clippers. This year, I'm not going to say it's going to be different, but I'm going to say it's going to be different. I don't think the Lakers are going to go and, command a huge lead. I think this game is going to be close. I do, because we're talking about the Lakers going to be motivated. I know, we talk about Paul George, but Kawhi is still Kawhi. I mean, Kawhi's a dog. He deserves all the respect for what he did with Toronto. I understand you saying, if KD wasn't, he still led them all the way to the finals. They didn't deserve. Nobody thought they would be there. He did that, and you got a Tyronn Lue, who he's motivated because he wants to show that he's a good coach. That team is equally as motivated as the Lakers because they had a bad year last year. You look at all the players on that roster; they're all motivated to perform better. I think this is going to come to the fourth quarter. I think this is going to be a battle. I do not see, however, though, these star players playing 42, 44 minutes in this first game. I don't. I think we're going to see a lot of these teams' benches. So with that being said, I think the Lakers are going to be able to take a lead with their bench. But I do have the Lakers winning this game. I do think it's going to be very, very close. I think this is going to be a very, very good ball game. I truly believe that. I think both teams, like I said, are equally motivated to perform better than last year, and we're going to see a hell of a game.
Well, everybody here waiting to see the championship rings, though, the jury.
I could care less.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
You ain't getting a ring. Why you care?
Why I care?
Why you care?
Number 17, baby. That's why I care.
You mean 17 banner, not ring.
Okay.
They're hanging the banner up, too.
Man, people seldom rings, kid.
Well, for me, Lakers and the Clippers, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the Clippers get smoked. I really do. I think they get beat bad. Chemistry just says a lot, man. And Lou Williams really not feeling it.
Not at all.
I thought they would trade him in the offseason. And then you kept Pat Beverly on the team where Kawhi openly spoke out against him, saying we need a better point guard. That's just a jab and jab to the face. And you got the Paul George thing, and there, if you look at their roster, it's not as good as last year's. It took a step back, and you talk about the Lakers done gained more and more confidence, more and more chemistry. I think this is a 15, 20-point type of game. I think LeBron and AD has a big game, and I think they set the tone early to let the Clippers know that your chance was last year, and you blew that opportunity. And now all we're gonna do is get stronger while the Clippers is falling apart. So I got the Clippers, winning big in the first game. Not to say there won't be better matchups later down the road, but the first game I really do have the Clippers getting dominated in this first one.
And Marcus Morris is out tomorrow too, by the way.
See, that's a key piece for them. That can't happen. Yeah, I think they get beat pretty badly tomorrow. Well, those are all NBA ASAP Real Talk show. We covered everything to every award, to the top 8 playoffs, to the finals, to disappointing teams. Make sure you continue to watch us. We appreciate you. We appreciate your comments. We appreciate your loyalty, because I really see some of the same people every week, and that's good. That means when 9 o'clock Eastern time come on 8 Central, y'all tune in. So we really appreciate you guys. Before we log up out of here, Freddie, you got anything you want to say?
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know that we wish, from the Real Talk crew, we wish each one of you guys a Merry Christmas. Stay safe. We will not be back on until January the 28th. So
January?
December 28th. I'm so sorry about that. You guys have a Merry Christmas and stay safe out there.
All right, Chris.
Yes, Freddie said December 28th. I'm going to have the craziest NBA hot take. Y'all stay tuned. You're going to love it. And I just want to say, Coach Cam, when you go, I want you to talk about your Bengals while Madison is here. She's saying Merry Christmas, but tell her why, you're the Grinch and you stole her Christmas away by your team being hers.
Hey, I hope so. Brian.
Man, I'm just going to say happy holidays to everybody, and I'm going to try to watch some more football, but my Falcons keep blowing leads every single Sunday, man. I don't know what – I mean, well, I've been through it before. I done lived it, so I'm used to it. It's all good, but happy holidays.
Happy holidays to everybody, man. And just to update, Pittsburgh just scored 24-16 with 5 minutes left. Ooh. I'm telling you right now, I've seen this story before. We're in trouble. I can see a 3-and-out coming up. Big Ben come down, score again. We commit a turnover. They kick 3 and they win 27-24. I've seen it before. I've seen it happen. I'm praying. Please, Bengals, close this game out. I just want to be able to talk trash to Steelers fans. You don't understand how many Steelers fans it is in Ohio and Cincinnati that talk trash to me. It's sickening.
Be an early Christmas present.
It would be. I just want to talk trash. That's it. You lose to a 2-10-1 team. I'm talking trash. Okay, so hopefully we get that win tonight and finish it off. But to everybody out there watching us, we appreciate you. ASAP Real Talk. We see you next Monday. We out.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. Great eye in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays.